Blessings. It's great to connect with you this Wednesday morning. It is a little earlier than usual, but I just thought I'd make use of the time today. I should be elsewhere, and I'll be a bit little busier today than I was yesterday. However, as I've always said from time to time, that it's important for me to sit with you and just to continue the dialogue that we have been having over the past couple of days and probably a week or so. And especially since we have been looking at Daniel, the book of Daniel, as well as the prophet Daniel, the servant of the Lord. I don't really want to break the momentum here. I think we've got an inertia, um, if that's the term to be used. The momentum is carried through, but yet the the power is still there, or the movement is still there, carrying us forward. Now, not going to comment too much on what's happening in the world. You know what's happening already. I'm sure you're very much more averse than I am, so I don't really need to remind you. It's always good at times to be reminded, but too much of it, sometimes you can get fed up about a particular thing if you keep hearing about it constantly. So I won't bore you in that. Now, I'm going to be doing little spurts, if you understand, of or little bites, little sound bites at during this section of Daniel chapter 11. Between Daniel chapter 11, verse 2 to 20, there are 5 prophecies that is shown or given to Daniel about what's going to be happening in world history. This particular period of world history is to happen, as far as we're concerned, it's historic. Each section is going to be, I probably won't take as much time, try not to anyway. I probably won't take as much time to look at each section of the prophecies between verses 2 and 20. And I may just do 2 sessions per day. So you may see me twice for the day. So as to get through it quite quickly, because I'm hoping to keep them short anyway and to the point in regards to each section. And then we'll go on into verses 21 to about 35, 36. Let me remind you that chapters 11 and 12 are very, very prophetic, in my estimation, in my estimation, up till now, we are going, it's prophetic overload. It's prophecies overload. As far as I'm concerned, we haven't done any other book as yet. So forgive me if I may stress it a bit much now, but as we go through the scriptures, I may then just make adjustments on what I'm going to say now. But we are probably dealing with the most prophetic as far as prophets are concerned. A prophet giving prophetic utterances, it is probably it's prophetic overload in these 2 chapters. Again, a lot of the work is going to have to come down to you. I just want to just skim the surface Sometimes we read these things, sometimes we have preached these things, sometimes probably we have done whatever we've done, but we don't really know exactly what's what, or where what is, or what where is. Do you understand? So it's not that I again have the handle on these things. I don't. I'll tell you straight away. You may say, why are you then doing it? Well, it's there. It's there to be read. And sometimes because we may be afraid to address it, we don't do anything. We may have read it. I'm not saying you have not read it. You may well have read it. And there are many people. I'm not saying that nobody has ever addressed it. No, please don't mishear me or misunderstand me. I know that there are many ministers out there that have tackled this. I may not have heard them. I may not even know them. And I know that many probably have addressed this. So blessings to you, and I'm sure the Lord has helped you. And even if you didn't fully understand, but you relied on the Lord, and the Lord, He did what He needed to do at the time to bring some understanding to those who've heard you address this. So it's not that I have a handle on this at all. I don't. But because it's a part of Scripture, and because we've been going through the Scriptures together, those of you who have stayed with me, it's there. So I've done a little bit of reading here and there, and I'm trying to bring some let's navigate this thing together. All right. So there are 5 areas in verses 2 to 20. The first one that we're going to be doing today will be more or less about the rulers of the Persian Empire. That's what we're going to address. The second prophecy will be about Alexander the Great Greek ruler. The third prophetic utterance, that Daniel gives is concerning the Egyptian or Ptolemy dominance over Syria. The third is the king of the south, which is Egypt. Sorry about that. The third prophecy is concerning the king of Egypt and the king of the north, which is Syria. That's the third prophetic utterance. The fourth prophetic utterance will be concerning the Egyptian and Ptolemy's dominance over Syria. And the fifth prophetic utterance is about the northern kingdom, which is the Syrian kingdom, their dominance over the Egyptian or southern rulers. So there's information that the Lord has given the angel to give to Daniel concerning world rulers. And I believe that also indicates to us that God is very much in control in what's happening in our world today. We may not be able to find anything by way of, let's say, like the UK or the US or Germany. I'm just calling out these countries over how they're going to do certain things today. Probably there is. But God is very much in control of what is happening today. His hand is in everything. We may not see it. We may not understand it. If you understand what I'm trying to say here, you may not understand it. However, God is very much involved in what is happening, because in the next section that we'll be doing, verses 21 onwards in chapter 11, we will come to the understanding that God's people is going to be what's the word, is the persecution. Yes, is going to be persecuted. It shows that, it tells us that. He's telling Daniel that the Jews are going to face persecution under a ruler that we've spoken of before. We're going to have a little bit more detail in relation to that, verses 21 through to verse 35. And the one that I'm talking about or referring to is Antiochus Epiphanes. But let's talk about him when we get there. So the first one that we're looking at is verse 2 of the 11th chapter. We've read all of that already, but I'm just going to read verse 2 and address that, and then we'll go a little further quickly. And now will I show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the fourth shall be far richer than they all, and by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up all against the realm of Greece. Let me read from the Jewish text here, verse 2, Daniel 11. Yeah, Daniel 11. Daniel 11, verse 2. What am I going to tell you now is true. 3 kings will arise in Persia, followed by a fourth, who will be far wealthier than all of them. And when he has grown strong by means of his wealth, he will stir up everyone against the kingdom of Greece. Yes, 3 kings are going to rise out of Persia, modern day Iran, as what we know as the country of Iran today. What the scriptures is telling Daniel that in the time to come, and for us in our day, the time passed, so it's very much historic. But in 3 kings will arise in Persia, followed by a fourth, who will be far wealthier than all of them. And when he has grown strong by means of his wealth, he will stir up everyone against the kingdom of Greece. Now, the scriptures or history tells us that the 3 kings who are important to biblical history and history would succeed Cyrus, who was ruling when Daniel received this message. The 3 kings were Cambyses, who ruled from 530 to 522 BC, Merdis, which ruled for 1 year, 522 BC, and the third ruler in Persia would be Darius the First, Hyptis, which ruled from 522 BC to 486 BC. After these 3 kings, these 3 individuals, a fourth king, God reveals to Darius, would arise, he would become far more powerful than the three previous kings we have just named. So powerful that he would launch an invasion against the kingdom of Greece. And the name of this king is Xerxes the First. Now, it was this invasion that into Greece that aroused Alexander the Great to retaliate against Persia. Now, history says that it was Alexander the Great's father. I can't remember his name, but his father was king at the time, and he invaded the kingdom then. So when Alexander's father died, Alexander retaliated. He was very angry, very angry. So Alexander, this caused Alexander to retaliate against Persia. Therefore, none of the other kings of Persia are mentioned or predicted because they would not become directly involved in the history that affected the Jews and God's plan for the world. All right. So, verse 2 of chapter 11, it's very much packed, and each king, if you wanted to dig further, you could know further much more of what happened with them, what happened under their reign, under their rule, and they became powerful. They became very powerful in their own right. One of the kings, the second king, which is Smerdis, who he just ruled for 1 year, probably not even, he didn't probably even finish his reign. He ruled 522 BC. Well, it would seem just for a few months, really, because the first king, he ruled from 530 to 522. Smerdis took over in 522, but then in the same year, Darius III, Hypsis, he ruled from 522 also to 486. So he didn't really have a successful reign, it would seem. But then if you want to know more, you'd have to ask Google or go down to the libraries or to the bookshop, buy a book to tell you a little bit more about these particular kings that ruled Persia. But these here would these rulers and what took place amongst them would have the desired effect, so as to cause the third king, no, the fourth king to come about and to move against Greece in such a way that the goat, remember, think about the ram. Think about the ram with the two horns and the goat with the one horn, but that breaks and four comes up. So think about all of that, because chapter 11 now is telling us and getting into a little bit more detail of what is taking place here. I'm going to stop at this point on that, and then later on, I will today probably do the next prophetic utterance, which is verses 3 and 4, and this will be more or less concerning Alexander, the mighty Greek ruler. and he ruled from 336 BC to 323 BC, dying at a very early age of 33 years of age. So may God bless you. We will pray another time. Okay, so you keep praying. I will keep praying, but then we'll meet at some stage, somewhere there, either in the heavenlies, or we'll meet and we'll pray later on in the day. All right. So God bless you. Have a great morning, and we'll see each other later. I'm quite sure. God bless you.